We're live?
We're live.
We're live? Let me see here. I'm waiting for my notification.
Is your phone, is your sound off?
I keep my phone handy, everyone, just in case people have questions as I go.
Is your phone, is your sound off?
So keeping back. All right.
Turn your
A couple housekeeping items. There's Jill. All right. Everybody hear me good? Are we good? Is it 12 o'clock? Maybe we'll give it another 20 seconds. Let some more people log on. Excited to learn some things today, folks. Who's excited? How's the sounds? Hey, Jill. Let's do this, says Sherry Stallings. Going to start in like 10. All right. Janine said loud and clear. I think it's about go time. Is it 12 o'clock?
It's 12:01.
12:01. Then it's go time. We're not wasting time. So, my friends, okay, how would it affect your life? Just imagine if you tripled, doubled, quadrupled your listing conversion between now and summer. Think about that. What would your life be like? Think about the last couple of years in the business. How many listings did you sign up in the spring? Okay, maybe you signed up, depends on what level you're at. Maybe you signed up 10, and you wish you got 15. Maybe you signed up 5, you wish you got 10. Whatever that number is, I want you to be thinking about, well, what if I got those other 3? Or what if I got those other 5? Because that is why we're here today. That is what we're talking about here today, why I'm standing here in front of you, because I want to take you there. I want to get you to that place where you can sign up dramatically more listings, okay? And the things that I'm going to go over are things that I'm just peeking down at my phone, are things that we implemented over the years, things that I wish I started with consistency back in 2005 when I really started going out on listing appointments, at that time on a weekly basis. Then it turned into almost daily. Then it turned into multiple listing appointments a day, all the way up till about 2009. And I only wish at that time I was doing all the things that we're teaching people to do now. Because it would have made a massive difference. And that's what I want to do for you. I want you 6 months from now to say, wow, those 3 things that I learned from Anthony, or that one thing that I learned on the Crush It page, great drawing, by the way, Cole. Those things that I learned from Anthony got me that extra listing, that extra listing, that extra listing. That's what I'm here to do. So, first item I want to talk about, because remember, we're going over 3. We're going over the 3 most common mistakes that realtors make. Every one of them, just so you know, are mistakes that I made endlessly back when I was doing it every single day. And then, like I said, we made changes over the years. 2012 was when we really made a lot of changes and when we immediately started to see significant results. First and foremost, prior to the listing appointment is your biggest opportunity to really increase what they think of you, really make them excited about meeting you. One of the things that I always talk about in training is the fact that you don't want people to just be willing to meet with you. There's a lot of coaches out there and trainers who say, you say this on the phone and you get them willing to meet with you. And I don't want you to be thinking, oh, I only have to worry about it when I get to the appointment, okay? The first item that we're going to talk about is what to do prior to the appointment. And then, by the way, one thing I forgot to mention, when we go through all 3, because we are going through 3, we have like 26 minutes left, so we have time. Once we go through all 3, we're going to talk about a huge opportunity, big thing that we're going to roll out in the month of March. I guess I should not say any more than that, but a big thing we're going to roll out to make sure that little tricks like this and many, many more are implemented into your business, okay? And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later in the video. So let me go back to prior to the appointment. Prior to the appointment is your key time to get people not just willing to meet with you, but excited to meet with you. So how do you do that? Back when I started in the business, I would get a call. Hi, I'm thinking of selling my home. Oh, great. When do you want me to come over? Pay attention to my wording. When do you want me to come over? Thursday at 3 o'clock. Great, I'll see you Thursday at 3. I'd hang the phone up. I'd do a CMA. And then Thursday at 2:55, I'd show up at the house. I have news for you. That's awful. That's a terrible build-up to a listing appointment. You are missing a gargantuan opportunity where you could get that prospect very excited to meet with you, and you could do substantially more things than your competitors are doing without that much effort, okay? Now, you might be thinking, well, you said this in a video 2 weeks ago. You're right, but I'm going to give you more now, okay? One of the things that I'm going to tell you is we send something called the home seller's kit. Okay, I don't know, 5-6 page document, and realtors send this out from here. The company sells it out, sends it out for some of them, and it talks about. Let me actually go through. Top rated brokerage, talks about our reviews, talks about us versus the typical company, actually gives reviews. Lindsay's telling me to go nice and close. Home sellers tips and tricks, frequently asked questions, and so on. That goes out in a fancy envelope with a couple other fancy pamphlets, okay? But one of the things I mentioned 2 weeks ago, and I'll say it now, is don't think to yourself, oh my God, now I gotta go create that. Oh my God, and then it takes you 3 months because you're stressing out. I gotta go do this, I gotta do that. Before you know it, the whole spring market's gone. I guarantee the company that you are working at has some type of collateral materials somewhere that they can give this to you for you to send out prior to appointments. In addition to that, don't miss an opportunity with email confirmations. And I don't mean boring ones. Hey, see you Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No. I mean, send them items of value. Okay, send them an email. Hey, Susie, it was great to talk to you. Really look forward to our meeting Thursday at 3. As I mentioned on the phone, pay attention to that. You always tell them what's coming. It's like giving directions. It's like going to the doctors. The doctor gives you directions. That's what you need to do in this situation too. So you tell them, I'm going to be sending you something in the mail. I'm going to be sending you an email confirmation, and I'm also going to send you a calendar invite. Think about that now. That's 3 touches, folks. 3 points of contact that you probably aren't doing right now. Some of you might be listening and saying, well, I do one of those. I half-ass send an email. I guess I should swear. Why not? Anyway, that's 3 right there. Then you put in something else called a pre-call. Call before the appointment. Touch them again. Hey, I have a question. I'm wondering, your second floor bathroom, is that done over? You mentioned one of the bathrooms done over. You follow me? Multiple touches before you arrive. That is what is key. Then when you arrive, think about this from a seller perspective. You come to the door, they're thinking, I've gotten 3 emails from this person, 2 emails, phone calls. They did all this preparation. Now they're here. What about those other realtors? Those other realtors showed up and said, hi, I'm Joe Schmo. You should sign up with me because I'm great. And that was it. And then they made 2 other mistakes that I'm going to talk about now. And this is during the appointment, things you should do during the appointment. So before I move to the next 2, Lindsay, I know you got my back here.
Got you.
Before you move to the next 2, Savannah's watching. Savannah, no Patriots trash talk on this, okay? Before I go on, questions on what I just mentioned, the build up to the appointment. Anybody have any? Post them real quick. I'll see if I can answer 1 or 2, and then I'll go on to the other 2. Anyone? See lots of people on here. We got a good group, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Susanna's watching. Marco's watching. Lots of people. All right, I'll move on. If you have one, you can put it on there. Then, oh, we have one? Let me peek. Patriots trash talk. All right, let me move on. So that was number 1 mistake that I see realtors make is they don't take advantage of before the appointment. They don't take advantage of that time frame where you can totally warm someone up, totally get someone to feel like they know you before you even arrive. Okay? Next one. Do we have a question?
We do have questions.
We do have a question. All right.
Kenny?
It's not too extreme to over contact. Let's explain a bit more. I came late. Okay, so I can't take a ton of time on it, but the bottom line is doing things prior to arriving because you want to warm up that prospect. I would personally not be worried about over contact. You want these people to be excited and you want to educate them on you, your company, and what you're going to do to sell their house before you get there. And that's why I mentioned things like this, okay? Because then when you get there, it's not all dependent on words that come out of your mouth because they're being warmed up. And by the way, one more thing I just thought of. When you do that pre-call, remember to say, hey, I'm really excited to come over there tomorrow. Just curious, did you happen to read that blah, blah, blah I sent in the mail? If they say no, please try to read it before I come over. It'll really help you have a better understanding. That way, before you get there, they're more excited. You walk in the door, literally you walk in the door of the house, you see it sitting on the table. Oh, did you have a chance to review that? If they look at you and say, yes, I reviewed the whole thing, you know that's going to be an easier listing appointment for you right then and there. All right, number 2. Number 2 is one that, honestly, this is probably the biggest one that I screwed up on a lot back when I was doing appointments. And the reason is I'm a D personality. So for those of you that are listening that are team leaders, broker owners, and there's plenty of realtors out there that are Ds as well, I'm sure you can relate to being the type of person who likes to just tell it like it is, just say it. You don't have patience to sit through a process and wait methodically to the right time to explain something. So that was me. And what I would do on listing appointments, before I went over walking, I shouldn't say before, but sometimes when I was walking through the house when I first got there, building rapport, talking to the prospect, they might say something about price, or they might ask a question about commission. Or maybe when we finished going around and we sat down at the table, they might say, look, I'm going to tell you now, if I can't get 700,000, I'm not selling. And you hear that and you think to yourself, these people are out of their minds. They're not going to get 700,000. Don't be like the old Anthony and say, well, look, I'll tell you now, you're not getting 700,000, right? I wasn't that rough, but I was pretty close. Don't do that. That's a trap. That's literally a trap. If you fall into that trap and you talk about those two things, does anyone know what they are? Pricing. What's the other number related one? Commission. Do not talk about pricing or commission prior to going through the house, sitting down, reviewing their goals, going over your presentation, discussing the presentation back and forth with them, and making sure that they have a clear understanding of what you bring to the table, what kind of marketing you bring to the table, and how your marketing is going to get them top dollar. When you know that they fully understand that, okay, and only once you know that, then you can go on and discuss pricing. But whatever you do, don't do it before, because here's what happens. I'm going to pretend that I'm sitting at a kitchen table. Okay, you're at the kitchen table, you get sucked into talking about pricing early. You say a number, which is another thing you shouldn't do. You should try to go over the comparative properties, let them say the number, by the way. Once you do that, their brain is automatically running numbers. So if they say, I'm thinking I can get 400, can you just tell me, is it 400? You say, yeah, something like that. Boom, you fell in a trap. Their brain is calculating. I owe 280, 400,000, that's 120,000 in equity. Hey, what's your commission? You're thinking, commission, I'm over here talking about marketing. Because their brain is calculating like a calculator. And you don't want that to happen. And once it happens, very, very difficult to get them back on track. You need to take a drink. Extremely difficult to get them back on track. So don't fall into that. Okay, when you're on a listing appointment, it's like a path. It's like that's not a good analogy. It's like a street, okay? And there's detours and roadblocks all over it. And your goal as the professional is to stay on the path. Don't get sucked off the path into some other discussion, something earlier than you should. Don't do that. Make sure you stay on it so that you stay in control of the appointment. So if they bring up pricing to you early, say, oh, don't worry, we're going to go over that. We're going to go over that. What about your commission? Oh, we'll talk about that after. Push it off. Because if you get sucked in, bang, you fall in the trap, very difficult to get out. So that's mistake number 2. Let's see if there's any questions on that before I go on to number 3. Let's see here. Savannah, how do I get them to agree on a price when Zestimate says one thing? That's a big one here. Yes. We hear the same thing as well. So I can spend 30 seconds on that. After you go through your features, your benefits, why they're hiring you, why they should work with you, and you get to price, then all you do is sit down, you go over the comparative properties, and you tell them, remember, Zillow is an algorithm, computer-driven, software-driven algorithm based out of Seattle. Great company, but here I am with you in your kitchen, and we're looking at what's going on in your neighborhood. Zillow's good to get a rough estimate, but it's not good once you're actually zeroing in, and Zillow says that himself. See right here? Pull it out. If that's an issue for you, Savannah, in your market, why not have that disclosure that's on Zillow's website? Somewhere on there, there's a legal disclosure. I think you can all the way down the bottom. Why not print it, highlight the important parts, and show it to your seller if that's a big offer? So I hope that helps. Doesn't look like we have many. Wait a minute. Doesn't look like we have many other questions. We have one? Okay. And then I'm going to move to number 3. What if they're extremely focused on price and commission? Is it possible to not get around that issue? It's more than possible. Okay. Hey, I'm going to go back to my point of, I think I said this, you're the doctor, they're the patient. As soon as you let them become the doctor, you're in trouble. And there's multiple sales tactics to make sure that when you're on that appointment, you're the doctor. I'll give you one right from the beginning. If you get to the house And let's say when you get there, you're with someone, you say, hey, can I, I usually start with taking a look around the home, and they start leading you all over the house. And there you are, following them everywhere. Do this. Say, you know what, I usually like to go down here first. I usually like to go up there first. Let me look over here first. You're not saying, hey, I'm going to lead the way. That would be rude. So instead you say, if they're saying, let's go upstairs, you know what, I like to look at the basement first. They're going up, I like to look at they're going down, I like to look upstairs first. Whatever you have to do to break that, do it. Same thing with paperwork. When you're going over pricing, don't always be so quick to hand it to them because then they won't give it back. You turn it over, you point things out, you stay in control. So that's my answer as far as, it's fading in and out. Maybe I'm moving around too much.
Yeah.
Typical me. All right, I'll stand like this. Number 3. Number 3 is, this is one that I can't say that I made this mistake years ago because all this technology and all this stuff, my dad would say now everybody's iPodding and TiVoing and all these crazy words he uses, right? But now they're laughing at me. But I'm being serious. Dotloop, DocuSign, all those online ways of signing people up, okay? Or getting people to sign documents, I should say. Great ideas, no doubt. We use them in our company every single day of every single week. However, don't use them for signing up a listing. I have several friends in the business, some that are very, very successful, that tell me, well, I go to a listing appointment, and when someone tells me they want to sign up, then I go back to my office, and my administrative assistant sends them a DocuSign, and they have to sign online and send it back. And I'm like, what? You are crazy if you're doing that. Crazy. Don't do that. I don't care if the last 5 times you did it, they signed up all 5 times. Stop doing it. Total craziness, okay? If that is the case, if the last 5 times they signed up, you probably knew them, you had some rapport with them, maybe they're in your sphere of influence somehow, but I'm telling you, abort that mission. Old-fashioned sales is what matters here. You go with a written paper contract. I don't have any paper around, but you guys know what paper is. You pull the contract out, wonderful. Here's the document you need to go over in order to start looking for buyers. Did you notice that? I didn't say here's the contract that you have to sign. Here's the document we have to go over in order to start looking for buyers, okay? There's another tip right there. I gave more than, said I was going to do 3, huh? So, do we have a question?
Yeah, Jeff Gordon wrote a comment. I think you should.
I'll go to that. Let's see here. Study what kind of personalities they are too. Yeah, he's right about that. That's. See, looking at our curriculum for our whole course, that's more high-level stuff, Jeff. Looking at the personality, we actually do that, and then that way the agent, when you go through the door, you know what you're looking for. But let me jump back to this other thing. Always remember what a seller does. You go on a listing appointment, you educate them, right? As soon as you walk out that door, they're telling their sister, hey, so Susie Q was here yesterday from ABC Real Estate, and I think I'm going to hire them. Oh, great. What did they tell you your home is worth? Because that's all they talk about, keep in mind. They don't say, tell me their marketing plan. Oh, they said it's worth $600. $600? Your house is worth way more than that, right? That's what everybody's feeding into their brain. And when you leave, and I often draw a diagram here at training, and I talk about how the peak of what a seller thinks of you is when you're right in front of them on that listing appointment. When you leave, what they think of you goes down because all their brain thinks about is pricing and commission. So pull the contract out, sign them up on the spot, walk out of the house, okay? Those are the 3 items. I want to get questions, and then I'm going to go over a little bonus thing here. Do we have other questions? Totally right, Jeff, on studying the personalities. No question about that. Marco, I agree. It applies to all sales. Okay. Next, we are going to talk about what I mentioned earlier. Remember earlier I said I was going to present you with an opportunity, something different, a way to get all of our materials, okay? Something that we don't do on this type of scale. And remember in the very beginning when I asked you, what would your life be like if you doubled, if you tripled the amount of listings that you took this spring as opposed to last spring? What would life be like in the summer? What vacation could you now go on that you couldn't before? What bills could you pay off that you couldn't pay them off before? Okay? That's what I'm here to talk to you about. We are going to open our course up to 20 additional groups of people, whether it's one agent, that's something else we're offering differently, whether it's one agent watching, a team watching, a company of 80 watching, it's going to be whoever wants to tune in, but we're opening up to 20 more. So in addition to Skyping our trainings out like this, in a similar fashion, to all the Lamacchia offices and our 9 other national customers that are from here to California to Florida, Carolina, New York, we're also going to add 20 more. So the space is limited. I don't want to go from 9 to 100. I want to do 20 more and see how it goes. This course is a 4-week course, 2 hours a week. Course is put on by me and 2 other guys who have each signed up personally, signed up over 1,000 listings here in our company. They've actually signed up more than I have. But they have, because I came off doing listing appointments sooner. Had to throw that in there. I don't want anyone to think they were better or anything, right? Now we're getting questions.
There's 2 other questions from before.
Is there 2? I'll come back to those. I'll come back to those. So, course starts March 7th, 2 hours a week, okay? 12:30 p.m. every single week, 4 weeks straight, it's live. Just like this, in person, all the Lamacchia agents are there, and our current national customers plus an additional 20. This course will walk you through each and every single step of how you sign up a listing. Every single objection you run into, we're going to teach you how to overcome. Every single problem you run into, every question that sellers ask that you fear, we're going to make it so that by the end of this course, you go into listing appointment like, go ahead, ask me whatever you want, because I'm ready. We're going to get you ready. That's what this course does. I've never, ever, Lindsay's looking at me.
I'm going to put the link.
Oh, Lindsay's going to post the link in the comments right now for the course, and I believe the link is crushitInRE.com. Is that right? That's a landing page. To learn more about the course, you can read that, but do that after. Stay with me, because I'm going to tell you most of what that says right here. So, every question you get from sellers, we've all been there. I remember when I was doing appointments, you think, oh, I hope they don't ask this, I hope they don't ask that, I don't know how to overcome it. By the end of this course, there'll be nothing you don't know how to overcome. Nothing at all. Because you'll know how to overcome everything. We will teach you how to do it. We also live role play right here. Sometimes I'm the agent, the other person's the seller, sometimes vice versa. We go over absolutely everything, and we provide you with all of our collateral materials, all that we use for sellers, all of our emails that we use for sellers, everything that we use, our folders, our seller folders, our listing appointment folders. Part of this course, we give you everything. Wherever you are in the country, we mail it to you. And then each week, we send this stuff, and we literally walk you through the process of walking a seller through the process. So if you're dead serious about substantially increasing your listing business, which I think you are if you've been watching for 22 minutes, okay? This is a very small price to pay. It's a small investment. I shouldn't even say price. I should say investment. Very small investment to make in your business to make sure that you double or triple your income. Lindsay's also going to be posting testimonials from several agents, some here in our company, some around the country, who have taken this course over the years. Some of these people came in selling 4 homes a year. They're now at 50. Some of these people feared listing appointments. Now they love them. Okay. Some of these people took the course as recent as December and absolutely loved it and sent us great feedback. And Lindsay's going to post those those testimonials in the comments now, so feel free to read them.
They're watching.
What's that?
If there's agents watching.
Oh, if anyone is watching who took the course, please feel free to comment. We would love it if you did, and mention what you thought of it so they can see it straight from you. Although after this, I'll probably tag you and you can comment then. But anyway. The investment is what we normally charge, $1,799 for this course, okay? 4 weeks, 2 hours a week, all the materials included, live training. Now, for limited time, very limited, extremely limited, which is like, let me think about this, 36 hours from now until midnight tomorrow night. So today's Tuesday, tomorrow I believe is February 7th. February 7th at midnight, registration for the introductory price closes. We're going to give you $300 off. So whoever signs up puts down a $100 non-refundable deposit between now and tomorrow at midnight can take the course for $14.99. Once we pass midnight, it's $17.99, and then we're going to end up shutting it off once we get to 20 people, which I have a strong feeling we're going to do. And obviously I hope we do. So, again, small investment to make in your career. If you put the deposit down now, before tomorrow night at midnight, you only have to spend $14.99. All right. let me come back to some questions, and then I will get into a couple other things.
Right, Anthony, we had a question
Sure.
from, if you scroll up.
Thank you, Jill. Just for you, my friend.
George Giuliano.
George Giuliano. I know George. Okay.
It says, how do you let market speak for? And then it was blank, so I don't know if he wants to elaborate on that.
How do you let market speak for? I don't know what he meant. Maybe he meant for pricing.
So Sherry wrote right after
Megan's
that.
on Savannah's Facebook. Jesus, you guys are amazing.
Sherry wrote right after that, what if you know there are other agents doing listing presentations after you?
George, continue.
Okay, that's a good question. So what if you know there's other agents doing listing presentations after you? My answer to that is try as hard as you can to be the last one in. And when you're on the phone with them, literally say to them, I'm trying to think of the exact script we use. And by the way, this exact script, all our phone scripts for sellers, is also what we provide in the course. I probably should have mentioned that, huh? You will say something, and I'm not an inside sales agent, I don't say this every day, so it's taking me a second to recall, but you'll say something like, just to make sure that you see everything we do over and above what others do, it would really be helpful to you if we came in last. The line, the script is something just like that. Now I'm like 100 degrees in here. So you say something like that, you try to go in last. If you end up, I mean, let's face it, we've all had sellers tell us, yeah, you're the last appointment, and then you get there and you realize you're not. So what? By that point, you've already hit them multiple times, multiple touch points, you've hit them, you've gotten them to realize, wow, they've done more for me than anyone else, and they haven't even arrived. Think about that. They've sent me more value. Housing reports. We just put out some reports on the Massachusetts housing market, but I don't care where you are. There's got to be information you can send to people in advance. And like I said, don't wait to do that. Just do it immediately. No more listing appointments. Hey, I'll be there Thursday at 3. And then when you get there, you go through your presentation the right way. You get to pricing, then commission, hopefully then sign up, and you beat that other person who maybe is coming later. Do you have another question?
So George finished his question. So how do you let market speak for a pricing of house and push clients towards facts, not opinions?
Hey, Sarah Murray. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah just commented. Took the course in December. Crazy good training. Covers things that never occurred to me, step by step. Jesus, I couldn't ask for better than this. You're the best, Sarah. Soup to nuts. And she goes on and on. All right. George asked how do you let the market dictate the pricing? Okay, that's a good question. And this is another one that I blew when I was doing appointments all the time years back. Don't be so fast to tell them the price. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Go over the comparative properties with them one at a time, one at a time. Now I'm dying of heat. I don't care. I'll take my jacket off well in line.
Go for it.
So when you're going over pricing with the seller, you're going over the comps one by one by one. Starting with the lowest comp. Geez, I'm giving away the course now. Starting with the lowest comp, working your way up to the highest comp, which, by the way, try to have it so that it's not higher than what you think the house should be. When you're done going over the comps, you look at the seller and say, so based on these comparative properties, where do you think your home fits in? Not the old Anthony. You should list it 400. Nope, that's all it's worth. I tell it like it is. No, don't do that crap, right? Go through with them. This is their home. They love their home. Their home means so much to them. They think they have the nicest chandelier, the tallest, best baseboards. That's what they think. So play along with it and go through it that way and make it about the market. Time of year also is a factor. When inventory is at its lowest point, like right now in the next 60 days, there's no doubt people can get more for their homes. You get into fall, they can't. Don't just verbally tell them that, though. Show them a chart. Show them a graph that you pull out of your toolbox. Hint, hint, part of our course. Toolbox items, which you will get, that you pull out on your listing appointment when you're having trouble. And you say, oh, take a look at this. This is a graph. It shows in Massachusetts, homes sell for the most of the summer. Why? Because they list in the late winter or spring. That's when they go under contract. Blah, 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 blah. What else? We can take a couple more questions.
Yep. How much time would you spend building rapport in a listing appointment? Asked by John Millen.
John Millen. Okay. How much time would you spend building rapport on a listing appointment? My answer to that is always at least 5 to 10 minutes. And when you're in that building rapport phase, which is when you're walking around the house, looking around the house, okay, You want to make it a point not to talk about real estate, not to talk about selling. You want to be personal with them. So you're walking around, you're taking your notes. What's going on? Oh, you're a New England Patriots fan? Wow, that's great, especially considering you live in Georgia. Wow, you're a Boston Red Sox fan? That's amazing considering you live in Florida. You get it? All right. So 5 to 8 minutes, typical for building rapport. If they're a D personality like me, they might like to get to the point a little bit quicker. You might have to decrease that. If they're an I personality where they're super chatty, one way to know, you pull up to the house and they're waiting in the doorway. Hi, come on in. That's an I. Those people spend 15 minutes small talking. They'll love it.
Does this course also include effective methods to soliciting listings from AMNA?
Does this course include what?
Does this course also include effective methods to soliciting listings?
Effective methods to solicit listings. Okay, so this course is not about generating listing leads. It is about what to do from the time you get a lead, whether it's a home eval lead, I don't care where the lead comes from. That's when this starts. So if you're looking for a way to drum up more seller leads, I would say this is not the course for you. Amy just asked, are Massachusetts agents allowed? We're getting this question a lot. Okay, if you're a part of Lamacchia Realty, of course, you get this course for free. That's how it works. If you're not, we do allow guests here and there. We shouldn't say here and there. Every week we have a couple different guests. Reach out to us, send an email to that email on that landing page, which is, by the way, crushitinre.com. Lindsay has posted it. We're going to make it even more available. If you go down that page, there's an email address to email me. Just say, hey, I'm interested in the course, but I'm in Massachusetts. We'll talk to you. We'd be happy to have you in maybe for one of the days or something like that. Let's see. Thank you, Mark Gordon. Thank you, Mary. Tim, thank you. What is this? Tara said you had mentioned let the seller say the price. Is it not hard then if they come in high? Okay, well, they always come in high. I shouldn't say that. That's not right. Julie Gross, good question. Is dispersonalities part of this course too? So the answer to that is no, in the sense that we're not going to spend a day on it because we only have 4 days for 2 hours. But will we briefly go over the DISC personalities and how you should adapt? Yes, we will. So be there, Julie. All right, Tara. When they say, okay, so if you make them say the price, they come back with a higher price. Yes, we all know that usually happens. But that's when you look at them and you say, okay, show me which one of those comps makes you think that that's the right price. Let them show you. Not, no, you won't get that. Not going to happen. That's what I used to do things like that. Doesn't help you. Doesn't do you any favors at all to have that kind of attitude. I'm looking for more questions.
I think you covered them all. Oh, Jill Boudreau, do you use BombBomb ahead of listing appointment? Would you use it after?
Okay, so Jill Boudreau, do we use BombBomb ahead of listing appointments? We don't. We haven't yet. Honestly, though, I've heard great things about it. I was in Las Vegas last week, and someone was telling me they use it and they love it. So maybe that's a great idea, but all I'm getting at is, and that's part of what I want to point out here, don't overdo it with like all these fancy bells and whistles. If today, you don't even need to take the course to do this. Today, you commit yourself. Okay, from this point forward, I'm going to send an email that actually has some items of value in the email, and I'm going to mail some flyers before the appointment, and I'm going to encourage people to look at it before I get there. That's one step right there. Right there is going to help you get 20% more, 25% more. Now stop talking about pricing early. That's going to help you too. You take the whole course, game changing, game changing. Because it's not just tactics you're going to learn. You're going to learn a whole bunch of tactics. You're going to receive all the information that we go over. We usually FedEx an entire package prior to the course starting, but it's going to change your behavior. And for those of you that are team leaders out there, you might have a better, as good of an understanding of me as far as we're all human, and if we don't do things repeatedly, and if we're not taught things in a repeatable fashion, it doesn't stick. You do it 3-4 times, and it falls apart. And that's not how we roll here. You do this course, it'll stick. It'll become a habit. You have to do something multiple times for it to become a habit, and then that's it. So again, just to recap, Lindsay, I don't think there's any more questions, are there?
Nope, I think we're good.
All right, recap. Recap is, thank you, Willie. Hey, Jean's on there. Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Sherry. Now, just a quick recap. If you sign up for the course online, give a $100 deposit with credit card between now and Tomorrow night, Wednesday, February 7th at midnight, you only have to invest. See that word? Words matter. $1,499. If you wait till after that, it's $1,799. I know I have several friends around the country watching. I'm not changing it. I'm not doing anything different for anybody. That's the price. And at midnight tomorrow night, it goes to $1,799. So if you're serious, if you mean it, if you are going to commit to making yourself, making your team members, making the agents in your company better, and I don't mean just a little better, I mean game changing. If you want to do that and change your summer, change your life, one of our agents, Michelle Wesson, by the way, #1 agent at Lamacchia Realty by transaction last year, her comment melts my heart. She said these trainings changed her life. Changed her life. And I'm happy I did, Michelle, because I love you. So anyway, that's all, my friends. Thank you very much. Lindsay, did I forget anything?
Nailed
I'm
it.
good. She's giving me thumbs up. Cole?
Good.
Got my marketing gurus here. All right, let's go offline. Thank you.